This is a quick summary of the Tinhifi T3 Plus. I think this is the best IEM that Tinhifi has released. I just did a video being very critical of the company and their constant reboots of the T2, etc., etc. This is a T3 Plus, but there's only one dynamic driver. The original had a dynamic and a BA, I believe. This has a great tuning profile that looks a lot like the HANA 2021 or the Melee with a little more extension. This has a little more extension. It's really nice tuning and tonality. It's not offensive in the treble. It doesn't have too much gain. It doesn't have any anomalous spikes. It doesn't have sub-bass roll-off. It doesn't have bass bleed. It doesn't have a lot of the things that you might look at and think, yeah, I don't need that. This is actually a really good set. It takes care of drums. Bass guitars, male vocals are treated properly. There's no additional lift or husk given to certain male vocalists. It doesn't muddy up or impede the rest of the replay that is in the mid bass, upper mids, and treble. Everything sounds good. Live performances sound good. Electric guitar with distortion pedals sound like they have the proper amount of energy. They don't sound like they're a little bit too pushed forward. And again, the vocals are not pushed forward. The gain region where that would maybe occur or give a hint to that coming actually doesn't happen. Did they do this on purpose or not? Don't know. Doesn't really matter. Belon releases 03 and they've been chasing that ever since. This is the T3 Plus, and I think this is probably the best they've released. Whether they did it on purpose or not doesn't really matter to me. It's a good set. I recommend it a lot. The cable is actually nice as well. This looks, if I can get in focus, actually looks good. It's a simple packaging. It doesn't have any extra stuff that I don't need. I just need earphones that sound good to play my library back well. This does that. I'll get into more detail after this video and pin it in the full review. But I recommend it. 60 bucks? Yep. Best Tinhifi so far, in my opinion. Okay, this is a video for the Tinhifi T3 Plus. I'm going to do this really quick, like 5 minutes. I just showed you a 2-minute summary. I think it's a great set. I would recommend that you buy it if your budget is around $60. I think it's a really, really good single dynamic driver. Up on the screen right now, I've got two other sets that are highly regarded. One is the Tanstrom HANA V2 and the other is the Oxygen O2. Tanstrom is really good with single dynamic drivers. If you take a look at this, looking at graphs and spending a long time, the more you do it, the more you find something wrong, unless it's a good tune set, and then it's the opposite. You just keep seeing good and good and good. If we just look at the bass, the sub bass and the mid bass, they're virtually identical. The two Tanstroms and this set right here. One of those is about $280 and the other is about $170. Let's take a look at around the mid range. To the gain, it's virtually holding to identical. Now we're going to go to the treble where it should, something's going to fall apart. The $60 set's going to start to, we get all the way out to 9 kilohertz before there's any real difference between the sets, and all of them carry over all the way past 10K, all the way off the audible scale. Give proper treatment to harmonics for electric guitars with pedals, distortion pedals, cymbal strikes, glockenspiels, all those things that have energy, keyboard synthesizers. This set it's kind of blown my mind. So go take a look at Squig Links, which is in my description, and give it some looking and compare it to other sets that you might be familiar with that you like that have dynamic drivers. And that's the comparison you should make, because that's where this should be compared, because it's a single dynamic driver and it has the tonality and the timbre and the authenticity and the not a sense of a lack of cohesion. Like, I can sense that dynamic driver taking care of the low end, and these BAs are taken care of. You can't get that because there is no other drivers. That's the special point and appeal to dynamic drivers. This $60 set has that. It does really well. Take a look at it with the graph tool and compare it at your leisure to other stuff. And it looks very nice, actually. It looks like a C Audio Bravery, which I'm not a fan of that. It's a 4BA. But damn if it doesn't look pretty much just like that. You can see the dynamic right up in here. It's got a nice nozzle. Let's take a look at that for a second so your tip's not going to slip off. You can see the screws in here, so this isn't going to rip off when you pull off the tips. It looks nice. It's got a nice cable. It's nice and strong. It's not weird and kinky. Where's Tinhifi been for 2 years? It's like they were sleeping dormant and then they just come blasting out of the box with the $60 killer after 11/11. Of course it's after. And before I leave, I'm going to talk about music when I do a shootout with some other sets that you can mention below if you want. This is something you need to know. I am a promoter of goods, and I pick what I promote and I don't promote. People get upset about that sometimes and say you should do it. I want to enjoy the hobby. I really don't want to do too many videos about stuff that I don't like. Companies send me things with their eye and their mind on a particular item as being the focus for the promotion and the preparation, etc. And then they send other stuff. Sometimes the other stuff is better than what they thought was going to be the main item. This is what happened with the T3 Plus. Another item was sent with the belief that there was going to be some, not for me it won't be, and not for my library it won't be. This set will, however. I will put this in multiple videos. This will be in a top 5 list. This will be put in other IEM head-to-heads. And when I sent this frequency graph to the people that sent it to me, and started saying, how much is this? Is there a BA in this? Is this just a dynamic driver? There's not a BA in that nozzle, is there? Because I can't see it. No, there's no BA. Yes, it's just a single dynamic. It's going to be about $60. When is it going on sale? Because this was the 10th, and I said, well, why is it not up right now? Oh, nobody really was thinking about it. It was an afterthought. The afterthought, miss, the Evo this, the Evo that, the Plus this, the Pro that, all this stuff that was going on, everybody just kind of subconsciously gave up on the company or something. I don't know. I just did my own video kind of ripping into them about how you take a captured audience that likes your goods and slowly cut it to pieces with each new, seemingly unthoughtful release because it doesn't match what you gathered as a crowd that like your tuning. And then they do this. And it looks better than all of the other little silver bud things they've been doing for 2 years. It looks really nice. And it's got a cable that's better than those weird fake silver white things. And it's a 2-pin. It's not MMCX. It's winning on all levels. It's priced right. It's tuned well. It plays back my library well. It is a familiar in its presentation to people that like the O2 but couldn't get a good fit, or the Hana V2, but it looks kind of like, it looks like plastic, though it's not, and gold, and it's a little too. They just nailed it for you right here. I will get into a video talking about electric guitars and talking about bass drops and talking about male vocals and also cymbal strikes and keyboards and all the stuff that I usually do when I break it into bass, mids, and treble. But I'll do that in another video because I want to. The attention span of people is very small recently, and it's never going to get better. It's just going to get worse. This is the T3 Plus by Tinhifi. They have just released, without them realizing what they had apparently, and even the people that sent it to me, the best set that they've ever released. In its look, its new look is appealing, its fit is very good, it's built very strong, it's just a DD, it's very simple, there's no whistling or metallic timbre from a BA that shouldn't need to be there because it isn't, and it doesn't need to be there because it's already got energy in the upper treble. They nailed it, and they didn't even know it until I graphed it and said, what's going on with this? It's 11/11 tomorrow. Recommended. It'll be in one of my top 5 lists coming up, and I'll compare it with stuff that you request to compare it to underneath the video. I know it's coming. You're going to ask me to compare it to the Melee, which is right there. I have no comment right now. This doesn't come in blue. That's all I got. And I'm out.